Everything started to click with me today based off of that video that I just stitched that I posted earlier. So I texted a little bit with my friend Ian to talk things out because he and another friend of ours and myself did a healing on Lumeria a couple of months ago. So I knew that he was the right person to talk to about this. And I jumped around a lot, and it was like, it's in between a bunch of shows that have all the truth. I'm serious. So it's a mix of the Disney movie Descendants, the TV show Dinosaurs, the TV series Steven Universe. There was more, but I don't remember it right now. But basically, when Ian and I worked together a couple of months ago, it was because the meteorite hit Lumeria and we had to get everybody from that chaos into the portal, which is the sun that went into Atlantis, which was the new Earth. I'm talking with Ian, and I'm like, Ian, when everybody went through the portal in Lumeria after the meteorite, the Moldavite meteorite, the meteorite that caused Moldavite, yes, when it crashed and there was chaos everywhere and everybody was going crazy and we put everybody through the portal, did the dinosaurs, the reptilians, get left behind? And he's like, oh, shit. Yeah. Like, we both looked at it and we could see, like, I could feel, I don't see, but, like, they got left behind. And that goes into another long story that people might not want me to tell, and I don't give a shit. I'm going to tell you what we discovered. I talked to Kate tonight and kind of pieced it more together. So about a month, maybe 2 ago, I made a video that said I had recovered some pages for my, like, metaphorical, metaphysical, like, clipboard kind of thing. And when I did that, these notes came, and I was like, here are the notes. Like, I started to make a family tree, and this is what happened instead. I couldn't get the notes quite right, but I knew that there were 12 sisters and 1 brother. And that it was connected to the 9 planets in the solar system, and it was connected to the new Earths, and it was connected to, like, the Greek Earth, and the Atlantis Earth, and all of that crap, and Lumeria. And how we're all co-creators, and there's not just one God that rules all, and that all of the co-creators each had their own planet, and Earth has a linear time, but the rest of time is now, all happening at once. Here are the notes from today. We had our first Earth, which was Planet X. I'll go into that later. Then we had the actual first Earth that really had life on it, which was Lumeria, then Atlantis, then Ancient Egypt, then Aztec, then Mesopotamia, then Greek, then Celtic lore, then Norse, then structured religion, human, Old Testament, and that's when the amnesia starts, and I'll talk about that in a little bit too. Then we had New Testament Earth, Industrial Earth, and now we're on the new Earth, which is the Matrix coding Earth, where you can just download light codes and healing into your system. Are you guys following me thus far? So everybody was a co-creator. Everybody got to make their own Earth. It's like seasons in a TV show. So there's an Earth timeline for history and stuff, but the age of is like the new Earth, the old Earth, and the new Earth. Also, I'm just going to throw it out there. You know how everybody's been waiting for the divine masculine to wake up, and it's always been about the divine feminine and stuff, and the divine masculine kind of just seemed to be like floating along. That's a touchy subject for people, but whatever. It's a hot topic. You know what I'm saying? Well, the 12 sisters, and they were the other 12 planets, the new Earth that we're on now, on the Earth's timeline is masculine energy. That's why it's downloading cheat codes, it's like the fastest way to do it. Like, download the healing, download the money, download the Sims cheat codes. That's this Earth, the Matrix Earth. It's always been the feminine. It's been like the gods and goddesses and the rituals, and all of those Earths, the previous Earths, were feminine energy. This one's masculine energy. And it's only able to do that because the feminine energy paved the way for a really long time. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so a couple of story times are added into this. If you'll notice, it says biblical God over the X planet, and then it has an arrow, and it goes all the way over to the 9th planet, which is Old Testament, structured religion, human, and that's when the amnesia starts. So I've said before that the biblical God is a co-creator just like all of us, except it did not co-create. It decided to just take credit for everybody else's creations. Well, its planet that it was given, they didn't do shit with it. Nothing. It was barren. It had nothing on it. They didn't do anything with it. It was like a child had made a mud pie. Like, it was just low energy nothingness. And all of us as co-creators tried to put dinosaurs on it, but they didn't survive. So the first planet that did really well was Lumeria. The purpose of Lumeria was for all the species to coexist together. So the dinosaurs got moved to Lumeria, same as all the other starseeds, okay? So they're all here, all coexisting. Giants, by the way. Like, dinosaurs were the size of house pets. They were high vibrational beings. They just had like a 3-dimensional form, but they were giant because they were huge vibrationally. But even though it was a group project and it was co-creators, the person who was in charge, or like the project manager of Lumeria, wanted to do things their own way. They were also disgusted by the dinosaurs because they didn't have a choice whether the dinosaurs came to live with them or not. That's reptilians. Lumerian creator was pissed. Even though we were all supposed to make decisions together, the person who was in charge, like the project manager of Lumeria, didn't want, like, they made a council, but it was like for show because their voice carried. So if they didn't get their way, they threw a fucking fit. Well, when the dinosaurs got moved, the Earth, the first Earth, the like Project X Earth, that didn't really go anywhere, had to be destroyed because with the multiverses and stuff, like, it has to end so the other one can be created, kind of thing. And when it exploded, a piece of it went into Lemuria, which was the meteorite. And since the project manager of Lumeria was fucking furious that their planet got a meteor, they worked to open a portal to the next planet, blamed the reptilians, and left them behind. The second official Project Earth was well on its way. It was Atlantis. Lumeria went through an ice age, a purification, a cleansing, so that the land could start anew. Dinosaurs, the reptilians, got left behind and died in the ice age. The second Project Earth of Atlantis didn't go so well either, and a few of the reptilians made it through the portal. I made a series a while back, I've posted it twice, about alien species, and here, let me show you. So going from right to left, think of that first 3D planet as Planet X, and it had the dinosaurs on it. You go to Atlantis, which would be the red here, and everybody looks like Atlanteans. They look like that species, but a little bit of the reptilians are there as well. So everybody looks like the red, but it's sprinkled with 2 different species, and so on and so forth all the way down the line. There, of course, are many, many, many more stories in this. I mean, we've got ancient Egypt, Aztecs, Mesopotamia, Greek times, the Celtic lore, Norse times, and let's get to the 9th round, or the 10th if you count Project X. Structured religion, human, Old Testament, and amnesia starts. The biblical God has inner child healing to do. It's a take energy. It can create, but it doesn't. It just takes. Noah's Ark, actually the son on Noah's Ark, made a deal with biblical God, that energy, to praise and worship them and tell their truth. And in exchange, they were going to wipe out everything and encode amnesia on the planet. And then biblical God could say they created everything. And it started there. They were a virus in the coding. But not everybody died. The ones that survived the Noah's Ark flood were the ones that were in the Switzerland basin. which are Rh negative. They're also giants because they were bigger souls. And that's why the giants kind of stuck around a little bit more, like the Nephilim and stuff in the Old Testament. But this was the start of human. Different religions, different cultures, different skin tones. Before it was like God, goddess, and man. And there were different colored skin tones throughout history, but this is when all of the people on the planet were not gods or goddesses. They were man, and they were different skin-toned humans. And we were told to believe it was always that way, when it sure as fuck was not. And for some reason, they let us see some of the bones, like dinosaur bones, but they kept the giant bones secret. And like the alien bones, which sometimes aren't aliens, but just other species of us, it made us think they were cavemen. So since biblical God was able to encode us with this virus thing of knowledge, like encrypt the coding of knowledge, the humans were told not, oh, it's 11:11, not to eat from the tree of knowledge. Do you know why? The tree of knowledge was left over from Norse times. It had actually been a tree since Greek, and it had the truth encoded in it. The tree of knowledge are the Michaels and the Lucifers. They're also on the planet as humans and man and gods and goddesses. That's a whole nother story. But the Adam and Eve story isn't even what you were told anyway. Again, another long story. Not going to go into it. I have another series saved in my drafts about the truth about Jesus, but I want to post this one instead. But yeah, with the encoding of the flood that wiped out Norse times, amnesia was there for everybody who got washed down the basin. But some of them remembered, but made to look crazy. We're uncovering the truth. We're bringing everything to the light. There is a timeline. There are lots of stories. There are co-creators. We are co-creators. There is not one God that rules all. We're all supposed to do this together. I still don't find biblical God to be evil. Like, it's a toddler. And trauma waste is the virus that feeds off of each other and makes us all hate and go crazy. It's a virus. And the biblical God sent trauma waste since Lemuria, trying to separate us all, trying to make us not see together, trying to make us not connect. But they got a hold of someone on Noah's Ark who was ready to strike a deal, which would be like making a deal with the devil. And they created a narrative of a bad guy and a good guy, and duality and evil and good and hate and religion and race wars. They were pretty successful until all of us. It's time for it.